Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhakti Yoga class, Sunday Bhakti Yoga class. Today is Sunday, 31st May 2020. So we just start with our prayers. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swamin Tinamine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So last Sunday we started these classes just like that we started, and now because some of you wanted it every Sunday, then I'm conducting this now. So I know that everybody will not be interested in this, but at least I thank all those who are interested. I mean, that shows your commitment to progress in bhakti. Because like any other thing, when we want to learn something, to learn it systematically is much better than just to learn something here and there, That's why we go to schools. That's why we, take up courses and so on. So here, of course, bhakti is a little different. I mean, you may do all courses and then not follow it, not practice it, then that is a waste. So I always advise everybody that please take baby steps, we call it, small steps, a little progress every day. Nobody can claim that he has become perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect according to me, except Krishna himself. And of course, some chosen pure devotees of Krishna. But they are very few. So that's why everybody has to keep on practicing. So today we will, last Sunday I talked a little about bhakti, and then the topic turned to how to offer to Krishna, what to offer to Krishna. That came up. But today I would like to start with, of course now temples are closed, but we have it, every home has some sort of temple, puja ghar, or some of you have deities, some of you have only pictures, some of you have paintings, some of you have pakka altar, garbhagriha, and then deities in that, right? So we'll consider that room itself as a temple. Again, everybody may not have the facility to have a separate room for the deities, for Krishna, Radha, or whoever you have. But still, you have some little corner at least, some place. So I will just today talk to you about the basics of bhakti. Basic requirements, not basic meaning, not what is bhakti and all that. Everybody by now know a little, not everything we don't know. The acharyas have written big books. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Hari Bhakti Vilas. These are two of the Vaishnava books, and there are so many others. Narad Pancharatra, how to worship. This whole system. But today we'll first start with the basics, basic requirements, so that we know what we need to do. So we can call them as basic principles of bhakti. If you want to take down notes, please do that, because I'm going to go slowly one by one. And just make some bullet points, and then maybe, keep your attention on what I'm saying. And then, of course, you will be getting the those who are sent me their emails, so I will be sending the recording also. But it is always better to have face-to-face, so that, if you have any question, etc., can be answered. I can try to answer. So like any other education, if you want to learn about bhakti, bhakti seva, bhakti yoga, devotional service, there are different names you can. So there, in any education, we require a guru, a teacher, right? Of course, there are self-study things right now, but we know the difference between the two. Self-study versus study under the shelter of a Pramanic guru, bona fide guru, not some guru. We already, in our Bhagavad Gita introduction, we discuss what is the qualification of a guru, what is the requirement of a guru. So, the first step should be that you please start seeking a guru. Some Mataji asked last time how to get a guru, and I said if you have a very strong desire, Krishna will send you a guru. I also told you about different gurus. When I'm saying guru, don't have to think suddenly, immediately about taking diksha, initiation. No, that's also good, but need not be that first goal. First goal is to have a guru, means have somebody who can guide you, have somebody who can mentor you, have somebody who can tell you why and how and when of everything, right? Like any other education, right? So try to do that, Start with a Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru is the one who will teach you. And Shiksha Guru can be many, because one person may not be able to teach us everything. So you have different gurus, different Shiksha Gurus teaching you different things. But again, be very careful there also. Do not fall for something fancy. Somebody using some big Sanskrit shlokas, or using very Shakespearean English, or very Sanskrit filled Hindi to impress you. What we need to know is what that person is doing in his own life. Is he also following what he's teaching? Of course, you cannot judge this overnight, but over a period of time you come to know, right? So, learning in this process is the best way, through this process. And then, when you have accepted somebody as a guru, and guru has accepted you as a disciple, that's also important right now. Remember, it's a two-way traffic. You cannot have a guru like Ekalavya and then the guru does not even recognize him, does not even know that somebody is there like that. No. We need to learn so many things, right? So then, the moment you do that and you have a guru, I'm just telling you hypothetically, many of you must be already having, or many of you must be thinking about. So when you have a guru, then it is our duty. What is the duty? To obey the instructions of the spiritual master. With how? With faith and devotion. Because unless you have faith in the guru, you cannot learn. No, unless you have a faith in the doctor. Doctor is a little different, because if you give the medicine, even if you don't have faith, the medicine will work to some extent. Works better when you are having faith. But here it doesn't work like that. You have to have faith and devotion. Devotion meaning, why devotion? Because sometime or the other in your life, you will have to serve that person, right? That's why devotion is required, because without devotion, we already discussed this. Without devotion, you cannot serve. You may serve superficially, like we are doing our jobs superficially sometimes, just for the sake of money, or just for the sake of promotion, or just for the sake of security, and so on. Then it is the duty of a devotee to follow the footsteps of great acharyas. Follow the footsteps meaning not copy them, but learn from their own life. We have so many examples, right? We have so many gurus, so many examples. So we can just, one whom you like the best, just follow the footsteps. Then what do you ask the guru? Because you're supposed to be inquiring. I told you already that. Yeah, we are supposed to be inquiring. So what do you inquire? Which subject matter? We'll inquire from the guru. Okay, now it's open for all of you. Which subject matter you think we should be inquiring from the guru? Or what should we be asking the guru?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
We should be asking about Dharma Sandehas,
Dharma
which
yes.
which is related to Dharma, how you inculcate in your life and how you practice it. And when you have some situations where you don't understand what to do, if it's Dharma or not,
okay,
this guru is the right person who can enlighten you and make you feel go in the righteous path.
yes.
It
Thank
makes
you.
your journey more easier.
Wonderful. Any other?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Preeti.
Yes.
Prabhuji, we can ask our guru about how to get out of the cycle of getting births again and again.
Okay, wonderful.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Bhavna.
Yeah.
We should ask how to serve Krishna, how to serve Guru and Vaishnavas.
Yes. Wonderful. Anybody else?
Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
the path to find oneself. I think the Guru is the best guide. If we are able to find ourselves, we'll find many questions answered.
Okay.
Guru is the best guide to take us through that path.
Right. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Garima this side.
Yes.
For everything, I think, like how you have to build up your attitude. That's, I mean, a very important part of your life. If you want to get a change in your livelihood and all. So first and foremost, role plays your attitude. So I think until and unless we are not making a change in our attitude, we cannot achieve anything for what we are thriving. So I think Guru is something which actually help us in developing that discipline rather than discipline, I should say self-discipline. Because if you are having a Guru, you will be following the person, and if the Guru is self-disciplined, definitely the Sishya, after watching and observing, even if he will not tell, but if you are following it with your wholeheartedly, you definitely will be following the footprints of your Guru. So
Okay.
I think in that manner.
Right. Yes. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Saroj here.
You're breaking, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sir, Saroj here.
Yeah.
We should ask Guru like how to do bhakti and how to do puja and how to chant, like some hymns are there, shlokas are there. When we do puja and all, so we chant some shlokas and all. So what are the best way to hymn them? And like doing the mala fera and all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Very wonderful realizations are coming through. Anybody else want to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm Radharani.
Yes, Radha.
We need to ask Guruji or Prabhuji how should we serve God and how to improve our bhakti and how to improve our devotion towards Krishna.
Yes.
And in devotional state.
Wonderful. Anybody else? So see, everybody gave a wonderful realization, and the essence of all that you have said is it can be put in one word, one sentence maybe. We should be inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in our bhakti, right? All of you have chosen to advance in bhakti, right? That's why we are here in this talk and Bhagavad Gita and so on. We want to know, as somebody said, we want to know ourselves. Somebody said we want to know how to perform practically, you know. So we need to know both theory and practice, both. There's a statement a long back, you know, when I was working in Mumbai in 1970s. My guru at that time, not a spiritual guru, but a material guru, he made a statement. You know, there was a discussion going on about theory versus practice. So most of the time people were telling, you know, there were 10 of us management trainees, and, you know, we're saying, giving, you know, immature, just come out of college and joined as management trainees, and, you know, no life experience. So we put on so many things like that, you know. So most of us were talking about the practical thing. So he made a statement. I mean, you imagine this is 1970. So exactly 50 years back. And I still remember the statement. He said, if you show me anything practical, which is not based on a theory, this is what he said. If you show me something which is practical but not based on any theory, he said, I will eat a cricket ball. That was funny. We all laughed, I remember, but it's serious. Like, for every practical thing, there is a theory behind that. Only thing is, sometimes we know the theory, most of the time we don't know the theory, but we keep on doing. And since we keep getting results, we keep on doing it, right? But then suddenly, one day we find that the results are not coming. We are already doing the same thing, which we are doing, but we are not adjusted according to the situation. So then the problem, that's how a lot of businesses fail. Jobs also, you know, you are Peter's principle. You rise in your job till the time you become totally incompetent. You know, you keep on getting promotion. At one point you become incompetent because they have given you more than you can handle. The same way. So anyway, just this is what it is, you know, how to advance in devotional service. Inquire, learn from him, because he naturally has a lot of experience also. You know? Okay, so this is another requirement. There's a big list actually, you know, but I want to go slow and make you absorb that and then go further. No hurry. So do you get it now? I just you know, summarize everybody's point of view.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Guruji, understood. A
Right.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing is, you know, like when you accept a guru, it's a system. Not that a guru is a greedy person or something, you know. Why guru should ask for the guru dakshina, or why, you know, isn't it? This is there in our thoughts. But it's a question of showing your gratitude. That's all. Not no guru, of course, unless no bona fide guru will be teaching you for the sake of, you know, there is no such thing. Have you ever seen anywhere bhakti yoga classes going on and you have to pay for that? I mean, if somebody is doing that, then that's a disservice, because this is a knowledge to be distributed freely. There's no such thing like a secret here. Okay. So, but what happens when we, especially when we, what is devotional service? We are getting attracted to Krishna, right? That's why we are thinking of starting some service. So there's a very nice guidance here as to how to do that, how to progress fast. One thing is, we have, you know, now when we are getting attached to Krishna, means we are slowly giving up or slowly rising above our material desires and trying to imbibe some spiritual desires. Krishna, service to Krishna is spiritual. Talking about Krishna is spiritual. Hearing about Krishna is spiritual. Although some material examples may be there, but that doesn't make it material. So the acharyas are recommending that when you want to progress, so how do we show that we are progressing? Krishna also wants to see some progress from us. So please do not take it like, suddenly, immediate, some order or no, it's a suggestion which will help you progress faster. Is that we love so many things in our life, right? We like so many things. Love, like, attached to, attracted to something. So in order to get transform, like somebody just said that we transform our consciousness from material to spiritual. So what is recommended is that you give up one thing which you like in material world. One thing, anything, it can be anything. There is no such thing that, just as a token of your surrender. Token. That means, okay, Krishna, here it is. Here I want to progress. And as a gesture, you can call it a gesture, you can call it a token. Here is one thing, I had this one bad habit. I want to give it up. And it could be anything, please. I'm not suggesting anything. Everybody knows their good and bad habits, right? Or your likings. We know it. And you will see the difference. Now, don't do it as a meherbani. Oh, because I Krishna, this is, I like it, but for you. No, not like that. It should come from within. Krishna, this is one thing I was attached to. And it did not help me at all. Remember again, you can give up only something which is not essential for you, right? Nobody would like to give up something essential. Like, I'm just giving an example. Somebody likes to sleep a lot. Suddenly you ask him, okay, now you are becoming a devotee, so sleep less. Immediately that person will say, okay, give me some time, let me think. Next year maybe I will think. Right now, I love my sleep. And somebody else may think, oh yeah, you know what, I was sleeping unnecessarily so long. And if I reduce it by 15 minutes, in that 15 minutes, can I do something for Krishna? I'm just throwing some suggestions, okay? But the principle is that try to give up something. And then it's not only one thing, and this is only half the story. The other half is, I will accept something which I don't like. Like I just gave an example. I don't like to get up early. But I accept it. For what? For progressing in Krishna consciousness. It could be anything. Please, this is like a homework for everybody, that please, home assignment. Think about it seriously. Do not jump to some conclusion. Do not just decide on the spur of the moment. Okay, this is what. No. This is a very serious thing. Because it's better not to give up something rather than decide to give up and then not give up. So if you're not giving up, you decide, no, I cannot do anything right now. Right now, Prabhuji, I'm just learning. I'm just entering. You're asking me to give up something. No, so it's okay, perfectly all right. But think about it. Think about it. Which is important for you. Always, there is a, I think I talked about it or no, I don't remember, but there is a channel on TVs and radio stations and everywhere, which is the most popular channel in the world. Anybody knows about it? Most popular channel. Yes. Come on.
Is it BBC?
BBC, okay.
Prabhuji?
That's what I want to hear, some names like that, yeah.
Okay.
BBC, okay. Anybody else? Not a BBC fan.
No, you said it's worldwide, so I just
Yeah, anything. I mean, I just said not necessarily. It could be, your local Bengali channel. Like, why there are so many channels in India? Because some people are watching only those channels, right? They don't care if it is there's a worldwide or whatever.
Prabhuji, now these days, people are very much after the Netflix.
After that?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay, Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Netflix is a channel or it's a what is that? I don't know.
No, it's basically an app, and now
Okay.
people have switched their things from majority of the people are watching now
Okay.
these days. It's like always on the top.
Okay, but anyway, I mean, anybody else? Because what I'm going to tell you is beat all Netflix, this, that, BBC, everything will be beaten now because by my statement. But before that, I want to hear some more. Yeah, I mean, it's very obvious that you people don't have strong attachment to any channel. Just okay, sometime this, sometime that, sometime that, right? Depending on what is going on.
Is it Astha or Sanskar, Prabhuji?
Yes, Guruji.
How many
News
people are
channel.
watching? How many people are watching that? Okay, I think, okay, no more guesswork. I will tell you, because this is important for us to understand. The most popular channel in the world is called WIFM. Did you ever hear of this?
no, Prabhuji.
No,
No.
Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji.
WIFM is the most popular channel. The long form of WIFM is what is in it for me, right? Meaning, if there is something in it for me, then I want to listen to that channel, right? Otherwise, I don't. Any channel, right? We want to see, okay, this is this. Now, for example, you are attending this Bhakti Yoga class. So naturally, you have come here to find out what is in it for me. Otherwise, why you will come on a Sunday at 8 o'clock night, right? So this is the most popular channel, WIFM. Please remember this. This will help you when you're talking to somebody. Immediately think when you are, for example, you're telling somebody about Krishna because you like Krishna. Now you want to talk to somebody else. So first you have to find out whether that person's channel is WIFM. His WIFM is interested in Krishna or not. I told you this. There were more than 100 odd people were there in our group. And now why I'm telling you now, why did not I tell you in the beginning about this? Because I just wanted to see how many of you are really interested. So now after a couple of weeks now we know, I'm not 100% sure, but still at least we have a fair idea that, okay, these are the devotees who are really interested. So WIFM, unless you talk to people in that language, they will not accept it. Only thing, this is why you need a guru who will tell you what is WIFM, how to use it, how to use for yourself also, how to use for others also, like that. Okay. So give up something, accept something. This is another requirement. Then another thing which we have to learn slowly, not overnight again. For everything I'm just said, baby steps. Slowly we have to imbibe in our life. Don't expect drastic results and things like that. So that is that in our life, slowly learn to accept what is necessary for you. Okay. As far as it is necessary, you have to accept it. Meaning, anything for your need, not for your greed. Anything which is not helping you at all in maintaining yourself. It's actually a imposition, it's some sort of burden, it's some sort of distraction. So many things we get, and instead of helping us, they distract us. So accepting what is necessary or dealing also what is necessary. For example, some of you may be working, some of you may be students, some of you may be housewives, householders, working somewhere, doing some business. So in what happens in all these things, we have to deal with people. We have to deal with materials in our life, right? Day-to-day life. So again, the acharyas are suggesting that if you want to progress in devotional service, then deal with them as far as necessary. Not get too much involved. But again, this is not immediate. This will come slowly as you start practicing and start experiencing the difference. Whatever I'm telling you, oh, this is fantastic, this is. Unless you practice it yourself, you will not get the final result. It's like, suppose I'm describing some very delicious honey to you, just on a video, and I'm just showing you, okay, telling you, okay, this honey, you know what? This has come from Himalayas, and the special bees are there, which are only they give the honey only once in a year, and this is collected by this process that is organic, and this, so many things I talk. And I ask you to buy it. Just by my talk, will you buy it? Some people may still buy it because they have faith in that person. Okay, so it's coming from Tatas, it must be good. Like that, we have those ideas in our mind. But the real process is when I'm telling all this, you should be asking me a question. Sir, can we have a little sample of that? And then I give you a bottle. Okay, this is the sample. So still looking at the bottle, nice label, will you be able to decide? The process is that you'll have to take the bottle, open it, keep the lid down, put your finger or spoon or whatever you have. Then finger is a nice example because you put a finger and then turn it, and then only it will, if you just dip it in the honey may flow out. And then put it on your tongue, and then wow, or oh no, whatever. So any process in life is like that. Anything we want to learn, you want to try, this is the method. There is no other method. Okay. So just wanted to share with you. This is not just the beginning. There are so many items to learn, so many items to start practicing and then slowly become perfect in them. One day you should be not proud of yourself, you should feel good about yourself that yes, this is what we wanted and this is what we got. Okay. So like to stop here because I don't want to take long things. Right? Initially I did that just to get you into it. Now we'll go slowly, absorb one by one. Okay. So thank you very much. Now if you have any question or comment, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes, one of you can speak.
Anyone? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead.
Okay. Prabhuji, you said that you will discuss about the Ekadashi, Nirjala Ekadashi.
Okay. Yes, today is the time for that. Yes, I will do that.
Prabhuji, sorry, but please tell us about Dvadashi also. What are we supposed to do on Dvadashi, the next morning of Ekadashi?
Okay.
And Prabhuji, how we will get to know that? Because sometimes in the calendars, in the Hindu calendars, the dates actually we get confused. 11th hai, ya 2nd hai, ya 3rd hai.
Yeah.
How to stick with the exact date of Ekadashi?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a beginner in this, so please
No,
bear
I
with me.
understand because why beginner? Even after 40 years, people are confused, which one to do. Because what happens, our calendar, Hindu calendar or Sanatan calendar, is based on the movement of the moon, It's not a solar
Yeah,
calendar.
right.
It is a lunar calendar.
No, it's a lunar calendar.
Right? So what happens?
Right.
The moon behaves in a little different way. You know, it's very moody. Sometimes it is, you know, it grows real fast. Sometimes it doesn't grow fast. You know, so that's why we see that sometimes the same Ekadashi comes on 2 days also, right? In the same place, it is 2 days. You know, it starts at something instead of in the morning, it starts in the evening, and then like overlaps. So what I would suggest is there is a website called VaishnavaCalendar.com.
VaishnavaCalendar.com. Okay.
There is no H in that. VAISANAVA, VaishnavaCalendar.com. In that, when you get that on your screen, there's a field where you put in your city. You know, it's a drop down thing. You just go there and then you search.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That city you click. That moment you click the city, automatically it will load the calendar for your city, and you will find when is Ekadashi and when is on Dwadashi also. Okay, let me first talk about Ekadashi, then I will talk about Dwadashi. So Ekadashi, first of all, how many of you know the story of Ekadashi? I mean, Nirjala Ekadashi is okay, one, but we have how many? How many Ekadashis are there in a year?
24 Prabhuji.
26. Because, you know, it's a fortnight is not exactly like, you know, it's a 26, you know, if you calculate. But there are 52 weeks, right? So Ekadashi comes every 2 weeks. That is why it is not on the same day. Like it is, for example, it's on 1st June doesn't mean that 1st July again will be Ekadashi. It could be 27th of July or something like that, isn't it? So ultimately it is 52. I'm sorry, 26. 52 weeks, 26 Ekadashis. So in a short, I will first tell you what is Ekadashi, how it started. Who is Ekadashi? Is it a person or is it a date or what? So once there was a demon called Mura, a very powerful demon, and he was always disturbing the godly people like Suras, Devatas and Devis and so on. Always creating trouble for them. So one time all these Devi Devatas go to Krishna and tell him the whole story that this is what this Mura is troubling us. So Krishna said, okay, I will come with you. Let's find out. So he went with them. And they were only watching. Of course, Krishna only was acting on that. So Krishna challenged the Mura and then they had a big fight. So in the fight, because Mura was very, very powerful. In the fight, Krishna pretended that he's become a little tired after a long fight. So he left the battlefield and he went into one cave in the Himalayas. And the cave was a pretty small cave, only 96 miles long and same 96 miles broad. Because everything divine happens like that, you know, the calculations are at a different dimension altogether. So Krishna just, you know, lied down on the floor there, taking some rest. And then this Mura was also chasing him. So he also entered there and he saw Krishna sleeping. Krishna was not actually sleeping, he was in Yoga Nidra. But still, the Mura thought this is an opportunity to finish his enemy. All the Asuras are, you know, enemies of Krishna. So he lifted his weapon to kill. At that time, from the right side of, from the left side of Krishna, a very, very beautiful, effulgent Devi came out. And without any hesitation and without wasting any time, she just killed Mura. So she sort of came to protect. And by the time Krishna opened his eyes and he saw this Mura lying down there and this Devi standing there, full effulgent. So Krishna asked her, my dear Devi, who are you? And why you have come here? And thank you for saving me. Like that, you know, he just Krishna is always grateful. So the Devi said, I come from you only. I am your energy, one of the energies. And it's our duty always to protect you. So I just did that. So Krishna said, I'm very, very pleased with you. So first he gave her a name, because that was the day was Ekadashi day, 11th day of the waxing moon. So Krishna said, from today I will call you Ekadashi Devi. And then he asked, what do you want from me? Ask for any boon. And all this, I was talking about saintly people, the 6 questions I talked about in the Bhagavatam. So every time these suras, the Devi Devatas and the sages and all, they always ask something for welfare of everybody. So this was a very unique request of Devi, Ekadashi Devi. She said that you are so great, and I want everybody to focus on you at least one day in a fortnight. So because this is Ekadashi, so I want this day to be remembered as a day of Hari, Krishna. And on that day, people should be engaged more in reading about you, chanting about you, glorifying you, doing some bhajan, kirtan, So no more cooking, because in cooking takes a lot of time, preparations and this and that and so on. So she said, so you give me a boon that on this day, on Ekadashi day, the Papa Devata, the Devata of sins, he will enter all grains. So whoever eats grains on this day will be eating only Papa. This is the boon I want. And this is again, there is a scientific reason for also. Now people are talking after so many scientific research and all that fasting is a good thing for body also. Once in a while, this fasting can restore the body balance and throw out, because when you're not putting in any garbage, then cleansing starts on that day. So these are the reason, and then Krishna said, okay. And then of course the acharyas in different places, they started dedicating each Ekadashi to somebody. And on that day, there are some special pujas and so on, So on Ekadashi, we are not supposed, actually the Ekadashi starts on the previous night, when you finish your dinner at whatever time, and then you drink your water and that's it. And from there it starts until not the following day, or not Ekadashi, on Dwadashi day morning, till morning, you're supposed to be fasting. So now there are different grades of fasting. The real fasting is you keep awake whole night, chanting, discussing, reading, whatever, and then 24 hours. And then you think of breaking, right? So in that period, some people do nirjala, no water, no nothing. So that's it, right? Then when this was being told, then it says, oh, it's not possible for everybody, because they're old people, they're pregnant ladies, they're children. How can they do this? Okay. If you do that, that's 100% results. And there's a huge list of benefits of Ekadashi, big list. There's no time for that here. I can send it in email.
Yes, Prabhuji, please do send.
And then he said, okay, what's the next? Suppose I'm not able to do. He said, okay, then if you can remain without food till the evening and eat only after the evening, but again, any time in the whole day, no grains, no beans, and then certain things, we said don't eat that. But generally, these are the main: no grain, no beans. Means no dal, no peas, and all those things, right? So you can have only fruits or something, milk or juice or something after sunset. There you get 75% of the results. Then some people say, I cannot live like that, I must have something. Okay, then the next comes, if you eat only once in a day, afternoon, after the afternoon means after 12, then you get 50%. Okay. And then Somebody may say, oh, no possible, I have to eat every now and then. Then okay, then you can eat any time, but actually still do not eat any grains. That is ruled out, for any time. Then you get 25%. But even 25% is great, So those who cannot live without their 3 times meal or whatever, breakfast, lunch, dinner, then you can do this last one. Have fruits, cook something. Idea is, as I said, no cooking means you have more time in hand to read, to chant. All the devotees whom I know, they do at least 50% more chanting on Ekadashi. Okay. So this is as far as Ekadashi is concerned. And there is a story behind each Ekadashi, what happened, which food followed, and then what happened. There's a book itself called Ekadashi Mahatmya. You can search on Google and find out, Amazon or something, you may get it. Okay, then comes Nirjala Ekadashi now. This Nirjala Ekadashi comes in the month of May, June every year. This is also called as Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi, or it's also called as Bhima Ekadashi. Because when Pandavas were in the forest, one time Narada Muni suggested to them that you should all be following Ekadashi. And then he says, you will get back your kingdom also, like, of course, both material, sometimes you'll get only list of material benefits, but no, it's also lots and lots of spiritual benefits also. So he said, you can, on this particular day, if you can do it 100% Nirjala, then it will be great. Then Bhima objected. Bhima said, in Bhagavad Gita we saw Bhima the voracious eater. He said, I will die. How can I not eat? Then Naradji said, okay, can you do at least once in a year? Forget about 26 Ekadashi. At least once in a year, can you live on that day at least stay fully Nirjal? And Bhima said, okay. And he was not very happy, but he said, okay, I'll try. And if I am alive after that, then I will do it next year also. Like that, So this is called Bhima Ekadashi. So if you are not fasted on Ekadashis in the previous weeks and months, so you can start from this day. And they say that if you do this Nirjala complete, nothing will happen. I used to also think, oh my God, how can we be, it's summer also. The trick is that you just keep yourself busy in Krishna's service, something or other. Take up some project, do something which is related to Krishna. Okay. And then next comes Dwadashi. Ekadashi, incidentally, you don't even pluck Tulsi Devi, because everybody is busy serving Krishna. So no Tulsi Devi should be plucked previous day for putting in your bhoga, but no plucking on that day. Okay. And then there's a fixed time that is called Pararana time, next day, between 8 to 10. You have to again see the calendar, it will tell you between this hour to that hour is Pararana time. So Parana time, somebody says. So in that period, you break your fast by taking some grain. So that way you fast and then you break your fast. So Dwadashi is also, sometimes if you by mistake or something, by laziness, by whatever reason, you miss Ekadashi, then you can do it on Dwadashi. But do not make it a practice. So Dwadashi is also powerful, but not as powerful as Ekadashi. Sorry. Okay. So this is what I have told you.
Guruji, just like that Nirjala Ekadashi, if we are starting that day and if we don't have to drink water from the previous dinner till the entire day, then we have to drink, we will be drinking water next day morning, matlab Dwadashi morning.
Yes, exactly. Because
that is complete.
Night we are sleeping, right? So yeah, one night you have to be awake, second night you can sleep. That is again, that is you want to get the best results. Otherwise, okay, you can sleep also, no problem. People sleep in the afternoon. Afternoon, at least you can avoid on Ekadashis.
Afternoon, yes, we can avoid. Okay, so like 100% is, but if we feel thirsty, so after in the evening, can we drink water?
You can drink water, yes. Water is the minimum. Again, the water thing came after, anyway, sometime other time I'll tell you about how water can be taken. And then people, like we do achmana before we start arati and all. So people ask them and say, okay, you can take 5 drops of water on your palm. So that is not like breaking the fast. Because that water is for purification, not for drinking. But you can, there are so many hundreds of thousands of recipes available for Ekadashi. And some temples, Ekadashi is more opulent than other days,
No, I'm not worried about the food as
no, I'm not you. I'm just saying you can have, because Ekadashi is basically for purification. And if you cannot live without food, then as I said, you're a diabetic patient and your sugar may come down. So you have it, But you can have some fruits, you can have some milk, you can make
but
some.
Nirjala Ekadashi, we can't have anything.
Yeah.
We cannot have anything.
No,
not even food, not even fasting food,
exactly,
not even water.
Exactly.
Nothing.
See, the Muslims are doing this roza for a whole month,
Yeah.
Morning to
So,
evening.
Prabhuji, it's like very much into trend now these days. I'll just only take 1 minute. As you said, because these things are coming from you and from the scriptures. Now people are, the dietitian and the nutritionist, they are talking about the dry fasting. It is same.
Right.
So when you are saying that you are talking about dry fasting in a month, it has a lot of benefits and other things. So I think it is one and the
Fasting
same
is
thing.
a really purification. Believe me, I mean, those who want to lose weight, those who want to, get the toxins out and all, this is recommended. Even medical science is just taking it up. There is a place in Siberia, one of the coldest places. There's a hospital there where people from all over the world come there who are suffering for years with chronic diseases, long time diseases. And they come there and then they, examine them and all they get is the water treatment. They are told that, okay, for next 21 days, depending on his disease or her disease, 21 days, nothing but water. So they have these huge stocks of water and you go and just fill your cup and, come and drink. And they found out that almost 85 to 90% people get cured in that period, of a long-standing diseases. Because when we eat, we even don't know what to eat. We eat whatever we like for the tongue. Everything is for the tongue. So we make it charpara, we make it salty, we make it, sweet and all those things. And every single thing is a enemy. Or not every single thing, but most of what we eat. Anyway, that's not the subject matter. We can talk about it separately. So, okay, so you are requested.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, we cannot pluck tulsi leaves, but if they are lying down, if they have come down, fallen down, we can pick them up, right?
Yeah, but generally don't put that in the bhoga on that day. They say, Krishna doesn't want to accept that. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I never knew I used to do it.
Yeah. I know we do so many things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is why now you understand why.
Yeah, I never pluck, but then there are so many falling down. Yes, Prabhuji, of course.
Those fallen down, you can always collect and put in a dish or something and keep it for whenever because you are all in India, so you would not have problem. But here in US, in winter we have a very tough period. Like no tulsi available because it cannot grow. So people then do in summer they collect all this and they have a big bag full of tulsi leaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, we do take them daily with water. So, but on Ekadashi we should not.
Yeah.
Not Nirjala, normal days. We should not take tulsi leaves otherwise also.
We can take. But
okay,
tulsi
but
again.
We
So
should
one
not
thing
offer.
One thing about tulsi. Never wash tulsi while offering to Krishna, because tulsi is already pure. So please.
Yeah, but the leaves are fallen down. I always pick them
matter.
up.
You just clean it, by hand.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not to be washed, because that's an insult of tulsi. If you are trying to purify tulsi, tulsi is purifying everything.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Thank you
flowers,
so much, Prabhuji.
flowers had to be
Thank
always
you.
washed. Flowers had to be always washed, and tulsi is never to be washed.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Seriously, like
Thank
I've
you,
been
Dhruti
doing this
Mataji,
thing
for
now.
Thank you
asking
so
this
much,
question,
Prabhuji.
because I've been doing the same thing again and again for tea and other things.
That's why Prabhuji is here for us.
Yeah. So no pesticide on tulsi. Whatever,
No.
if there is a problem, just take neem oil, and with a cotton swab, you just put the neem oil on those branches and all,
Okay.
But not a pesticide.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhu, one question. I'm Sri Devi.
Yeah.
We cannot pluck Tulasi on Ekadashi day?
Yes, you cannot. Should not.
Dwadashi?
Dwadashi you can.
Can, only Ekadashi day, yeah?
Ekadashi, yeah. Because everybody is busy, Even Tulsi Mata is also in service of Krishna,
Yeah.
so why disturb her?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So
Hare
I
Krishna,
hope,
Prabhuji.
yes, good.
I'm so sorry, Prabhuji.
No?
I was just going to ask if we can sleep during the night, because you said that during Ekadashi we should keep.
I mean, I said that is recommended. Now, how many recommendations we follow depends on that.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Because Prabhuji, my parents would not allow this.
I know.
That's why I was like.
So you can put on some
Sorry,
nice bhajans and you use your headphone, so they will not know what you're doing. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But
That's so good, Prabhuji.
You say that you are watching a movie tonight. I want to watch 3 movies tonight. Like they will not say no to that.
Hari bol.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
It was a wonderful session.
Thank
you
you
so
so
much
much,
for
Prabhuji.
taking
Thank
all
you.
the
कृष्ण
queries.
प्रभु जी कविता दिस साइड बहुत कुछ मिस किया आज मैंने
Don't worry, you can watch the recording.
जी
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
This
Krishna.
class was very nice. I have learned many things, Prabhuji, today.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for
Hare Krishna.
enlightening us.
Hare Krishna.